Hi, I'm James, and we're back here with another Rad Project review. This week, we're going to be doing The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. It's a really great book. I would highly recommend it. And a great novel if you're stir crazy like everyone else due to COVID-19. Hashtag senior year 2020 totally ruined by this, but that's okay. Anyways, we're going to go and review this book now. So, first step, it would probably be, going over the plot. So, it starts with this girl, Christine, and her father, and they're exploring Europe. They're going all throughout, and they stop in Paris for a little bit. And this little girl, Christine, who's been told stories and loves to sing, has heard stories of this angel of music from her father that super enticed by, right? Sent from the heavens. Anyways, so while she's in Paris as a little girl, she goes ahead and she makes great friends with this little boy, Raoul. And they both tend to like each other, clearly, which is super cool and good for them, I guess. Anyways, the sad part is Christine's father's still a European explorer, so they gotta go. So Raoul's heartbroken, and she is too, and she leaves and she continues. Further on in the book, Christine's like an older teen now, right? She's more matured. She's a young lady living on her own, and she's moved back to Paris. And she's at the Paris Opera House singing with this just beautiful voice, and everyone's loving it. And, Raoul's there too, so that's a plus, right? They get to talk. Anyways, so she's singing one day in the opera house, and she hears this mysterious figure start giving her advice and, wooing her, telling her, like, wow, you're so amazing, but you could fix this. Anyways, so she does this, and she asks him, hey, are you the angel of the music? Are you the angel of music, right? Like, this is the sign. And he goes, yeah. Now, really, it's actually the Phantom of the Opera. This guy, Eric, he's got some issues, but we'll get into that later, right? So anyways, so he's kind of wooing her, and he gives her this advice, and she trains listening to him forever. And then she goes and does a performance, and she sounds so good. She blows everyone's mind away. The jealous Carlotta is kind of salty about it because she's like the diva of the opera house. She's like the attention needer, right? Anyways, so this happens, and it's really interesting, and there's this big production, right? And the lead in it is Carlotta, and the Phantom, he ain't having that. Like, you can tell he catches feelings hot and quick. He's definitely the jealous type, so I'd stay away. He's a swipe left on Tinder for you ladies. Anyways, so you do that, and he goes crazy. He causes all these problems. He cuts the chandelier on the crowd as a way to say Carlotta, and he scares Carlotta to the death, so she don't want to do it no more. So then he does it so that eventually Christine can perform, and he just clearly wants her to do good. Well, one day during a performance, he's like, okay, I need to talk to Christine. I got to know her. And so he kidnaps her when everyone's scared. And, she's like really freaked out, and they're in the basement in these cellars underneath the opera house. And he's telling her, all these things, all these confessions. And she goes to take off his masks, and she realizes he is hella ugly. She realizes he's got like the face of a monster, and like he should really invest in some, plastic surgery, some rhinoplasty, something. So that happens, and she's not really enthused, and he's super freaked out, and he runs away, even though he likes her, because he doesn't want her to be afraid. So a little bit while later, she performs again, throws this smoke bomb, crowd goes dark, and this man captures her again, right? And once he gets her in the basement, he goes, I need you to marry me. I know you love Raoul, but I need you to marry me, right? Essentially, or I'll destroy this building. And this is where we'll stop for the non-spoiler section. So this point on is a spoiler section. You should know that. So, spoiler, so he goes, and she thinks that she remembers Raoul's in the audience, so she goes, okay, yes, I'll marry you, as to make sure he's not hurt. And then he goes to lift his mask to kiss her on the forehead, and when he does that, she goes back and kisses him on the cheek. And he's like super surprised. He's like, whoa, no one's ever kissed me before, not even my mom's, which sucks, by the way. That fat L in the chat for him. So anyway, so you can tell he's got some parent issues, some, some daddy issues probably. He's got some problems. And so he goes, I can't believe you kissed me. No, my own mother has kissed me. Go be with Raul. I know you love him. Go be with him. And she goes and she leaves, and she's with Raul, and she loves him, and she thinks of, Eric all the time, the Phantom, from time to time. And it's rumored that to this day, you can still see him walking the halls of the Paris Opera House. And that's how this awesome book ends. I would highly recommend it, especially for you stir-crazy people. Just don't become so stir-crazy you're kind of like this dude who kind of lives in, freakdom in this opera house by himself forever, because he's a little too weird. And I would rate this, if I was going to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a great book. It's a 10 quality book. I would give it a 9 just so it, because it's such a good book, but you don't want it being too confident. You don't want to give it a 10. So it's like, oh my God, I'm a 10. You got to give it a 9. So it doesn't act too cocky, but it's still flattered. So I'd definitely say a solid 9 out of 10. Highly recommend it. Yeah. Phantom of the Opera.